Welcome to the Estate Professionals Mastermind podcast, built for real estate professionals that want to work less, earn more, and make an impact in their community. For information on how you can become part of the estate professionals community, visit probatemastery.com. Welcome in. I've seen some of you guys really recently. If I did see you recently, we ended the last call, 7 or 8 minutes ago? And I said, hey, I can't find my leads tracker, my pipeline tracker, and I wanted to show you guys. So for those of you that are here, that were on the last call and have a little bit of context that I was trying to find my tracker for my business, I'm going to show it to you right now. This is hopefully going to give you a lot of motivation. I'm going to pause the recording. For anyone that comes and watches this later, I'm pausing for one reason and one reason only. YouTube will censor our entire video, just completely shut it out if we show addresses on our screen. So I'm going to pause the recording and switch to a screen share, and then I'll come back and talk about it this after the fact. So I just showed my pipeline. The last time it was tracked is 85% of inherited property was going to sell. I can't substantiate that number. I can't find it on my end, but I've seen realtor resources and probate educator resources that say 85%. It feels like it's less than that to me, but it's definitely more than 50. So in the last 2.5 weeks, I've identified and had conversations with $1.1 million worth of real estate commission if I get a 3% listing on every single one of these. I would like to get an appointment with 25% of these folks. That's my goal. So in 2.5 weeks, I think that I found a pipeline that I can get in front of $250,000 in commission with in 2.5 weeks. Now, I haven't captured that business yet. I was having a coaching call with one of our guys on here right now. Where'd Mike go? There's Mike. Mike asked me, we were talking about coaching, and I said, I really haven't produced in 5 years. And he was like, Bruce, this process is, why did you make more money selling or coaching? Absolutely selling. But back when I was selling, I was doing 1 to 3 probate deals a month. Then we started building some of these systems that we've been talking about recently, and students started doing 10, 12, 20 deals a month. Not many doing 20, but I've had a couple doing 20 probates a month, several doing close to 10. And Mike was like, why are you not selling? And Mike, what did I say? So after that conversation, it's like, I gotta get back into selling. And I don't want to take away from the training and the coaching that we're giving you guys, but this is the pipeline that I just showed you guys, is what I've identified in the last couple of weeks. And if I can get 20 in front face to face with 25% of them, and I could close 100%. Let's say I don't close 100%. Let's say I close 50% of the people on face to face. $125,000 in commission that I've found in the last 2.5 to 3 weeks of building a pipeline. So if you guys are going to build a pipeline, that's how I suggest you do it. Now, here are my basic rules for adding people to the pipeline. If I call someone, or if an ISA, let's say an ISA calls them, and my ISA is kind of new with me, I don't give them a full script. And here's my basic full script. Hey, I'm not sure we know each other, Mike. My name is Bruce Hill. I run North Carolina Estate Solutions. I'm calling about your application for probate here in the last couple of weeks with Wake County. Are you the representative for that estate, or are you maybe handling this independently? And they go, I'm the representative. Okay. Could I take a quick second and tell you what I called for? And they say yes. And then I go, basically, the reason that I was calling is I operate an independent company. We're not tied to the county, but we provide resources, guidance, and connections for kind of different stages of probate. I'm certainly not wanting to bore you with a million details. Could I ask, is probate something that like you've just started in the last couple of weeks, or have you finished most of the process at this point? And what are they going to say? I just started. Okay, so and you guys are doing this with an attorney or are you doing independently? Doesn't matter what they say. I go, and do you have things kind of handled at this point? Or is there any guidance that you were maybe needing a little bit of help with? And they go, we've got it handled. Okay. And then I say, in that case, what I'd like to do is just send you a basic resources package that helps with different stages of the process. And the only thing I would ever ask is maybe you just give me a call if you needed anything. Is that fair? Who's going to say no? Now, don't get me wrong. People absolutely say no. Unreasonable people. I think 50% of the people I talk to on the phone are unreasonable, but I've made it to where any reasonable person can't say no. I won't call you if I need anything because that's what I'm asking them to answer. If I sent you a package with some resources that help with different stages of the process, would you call me if you need anything? Sure. When I have a new ISA, they haven't been with me for very long. They haven't memorized my entire conversation process. That's all I'm really looking for. I know that they're calling someone that has real estate that's in the estate. I know that there's a 50% chance that that person is going to sell. So if that person says, yes, send me resources, that's still a great lead for me, whether we've asked about the real estate or not. What do I do at that point? Hey, Bruce, here's a lead. It's just in the discovery phase. They asked for a resources package. They own a house that they've inherited. I don't know if they're going to sell yet. What am I going to do? I'm going to jump on the phone. Hey, you just talked to my assistant. My name's Bruce. I operate North Carolina Estate Solutions. Do you have a quick second? And then I'm going to see if I can extend that call. And that's with a new ISA that I'm not ready to ask real estate questions. After about a month or so, once they're getting to the place where 50% of everyone that they talk to says, yes, send me resources. Yes, send me resources. So 50% of everyone that answers the phone says yes. Now they're going to ask about real estate. Hey, out of curiosity, are there any assets involved in the estate, like real estate, vehicles, personal belongings, etc., that may be sold as probate finishes, or is it just too early to make those decisions? Bunch of people are going to say it's too early. What's that mean? They're selling. Bunch of people are going to say, hey, yeah, we're going to sell. Bunch of people are going to say, no, I'm going to keep the house. That's okay. But generally, 2/3 are open to selling. And if they're open to selling, i.e., we don't know yet, or I think we're going to sell, they're selling. Both people in those camps are selling. So when I put leads into my pipeline and a bunch of them are discovery, I know it's 50, or maybe even 66% are going to sell. So that's why I don't mind my ISAs putting leads in that haven't expressly said, "Hey, I'm selling. Here's my time frame." I'll figure it out. I've got a couple of months to wow them with material as well, with resources as well. So
Bruce,
I just kind of wanted
question.
to show you what was possible. Go for it, Mike.
Do your ISAs mention your name or mention anything about you on the first call?
Yes, it depends on how far into the call they're going. So when they're new, when they're new, they don't normally mention me.
Okay.
Okay. They might say, hey, it's going to come from our owner and partner, Bruce Hill. They might say that. As they get more experienced and they talk about assets after they get, yes, send me resources. As they get more experience, they'll talk about assets and then they'll go, actually, our owner, Bruce, he also owns a brokerage in the area. So if you do need to sell, he may be able to help with that. We'll put some information in the package.
When you called to follow up on the second call, you said you mentioned assistant. Do they link the two calls together?
If I call soon enough,
Okay.
yeah.
They will. Okay.
Yep. So I don't want to call more than one day out. Ideally, 15 minutes. Ideally, it's not feasible. I'm on Zoom right now. If I get a pipeline lead right now, they're not getting a call for 2 hours.
Okay.
But I'm not going to let it go weeks. If I don't call right away, and let's say I miss them for days, I'm going to call after I know the package is landed in their hands.
Okay.
Yep. Awesome. Hey Lou, what do you have?
Let's see here. Yeah, there was actually a question that was asked in during the presentation
Hmm.
that didn't get answered, and it's can wholesalers join the probate partnership program? Wholesalers.
Yes. Wholesalers may or may not get the full benefit out of it. I think it's going to be wise. I think it's really wise for agents to also have a wholesale and an investment option. I think it's even more wise for investors, whether they're flippers or buy and hold or wholesalers. I think it's really smart for them to have an agent partner or go get a license. I think it's really good to be able to present all options to your sellers when you meet with them. This guy I'm meeting with on Friday, I'm going to show him a cash option, a quick sale through the MLS, a listing, and my cash. If he takes that, I might flip it. I might take it to one of my investors as a wholesale deal. So if you're only a wholesaler, I think you're going to be missing some of the potential in a program like we're doing. But yeah, you can do it and you can make money doing it.
Great. There was a question about leads or the leads that you were mentioning earlier. How do you generate these leads?
I buy them.
Okay.
Yeah, I buy them. Depending on the market, I'll go to one of a couple of different resources. I think everybody here knows my relationship with all the leads is kind of the tight relationship. They can be a little bit more expensive, but they also build your website and run your mail campaign as well. So I think it's worth it. Their data is a little bit more solid. That would be alltheleads.com. Alltheleads.com. Another company I really like is probatedata.com. Probate data, if you mention me, they'll actually let you have 2 weeks for $1. But they don't have mail campaigns and websites and things like that. All the leads is coaching, weekly calls, weekly training calls, leads, websites, mail, kind of all of the above. If you guys are going to check one out, you might want to check both out. All right. Some people go to the courthouse. So let's pretend for a minute that you don't want to spend $500 a month on leads or $150 a month, depending on where you're getting your leads from. It's expensive. Okay. If you are close to a courthouse, I would absolutely march my butt into the courthouse once a week and I'd go through the probate records. If you don't have the money or the time to go to the courthouse, then I would go to the courthouse once a week and I would sit in probate hearings. Sit in hearings free. Okay. There's a few people here that may not have counties that open up probate hearings, but for the most part, here's the way that the majority of counties in the US handle probate. Someone's passed away, you go to the clerk's office, you apply for probate. At your application, if everything's in order and you can substantiate why you're applying, they will schedule a court hearing for you. Depending on where you are, that court hearing could be that week, it could be a month out. I've seen it longer sometimes, but that's usually when they're just falling behind. So it's usually a couple of weeks out. So they'll schedule a court hearing with you, and that means that you and your attorney, or you by yourself and the family, go take your application to the judge. You take your death certificate, you take your will, any supporting documents you have, you sit in front of the judge and you say, hey, please give me the authority to begin probate. That hearing is normally public, normally. So when the clerk is scheduling the appointment, they're going to schedule you at the same time that 7 or 8 or 9 other families are scheduled for. Okay, depending on how big your county is, there might be 10 other families scheduled for that same time window. And you guys just go in and one by one, the judge calls you up and he reviews your case with you. And he says, you're missing these documents, go get them and come back at another appointment time, or everything's in order. We're going to give you your approval. During that time, families really frequently ask the judge questions such as, when can we sell the house? If I'm sitting in that courtroom and I hear someone say, when can we sell the house? I know exactly who to go knock on their door, who to call after, who to meet in the hallway. I know exactly who. So I really love sitting in court hearings if I have the time and I don't have the money to buy leads. Now, I haven't sat in court hearings for quite a while. I'd love to, but I don't really have the time. So I just buy my leads and comb through them on the phone. Lou.
Yeah, there's another question. It's regarding like outreach mind maps. So like steps. Like, do you have any probate outreach mind maps that are available for either your students or maybe partners?
Coaching students and partners, absolutely. I have a full mind map. There are a handful of different conversation approaches for a conversation with probate lead. In probate mastery, there's one. It's not necessarily presented as a mind map, but it's basically to call, go through your opening, and then say, I provide a concierge service. This is what I teach in probate mastery. I provide a concierge service. It kind of helps with every step of the probate process. Do you have everything handled? And they say, yeah, I have everything handled. Okay, in that case, listen, I want you to save my number. Call me if anything comes up. Could I give you a couple of quick examples of what some of the things I do? Yeah. Then we start talking about real estate. So there's 5 or 6 lessons in probate mastery that talk about that for coaching students and the mind map that my ISAs use for partners. We're offering resources and then we're shifting into a conversation for assets. And there is a really substantial mind map. What I try to do is make sure that one group is not using something better than another. So when I create scripts, I've tried them all myself. I've had success with all of them myself. I'm not going to give one group that's in probate mastery a script that's subpar to what my ISAs are using or coaching clients. But what I want to make sure of is that we don't have a couple of dozen people in any market that are saying the exact same thing as one another. So that's why there's one version for probate mastery, one version for ISAs, one version for people in coaching, because they all work. We just don't want to sound like robots that are all doing the same thing. Hey, Kristen, what's up?
So I have gone to court here
Mhm.
and spent probably 4 hours in court on an afternoon. And the difficulty I had with that, it was one case an hour. And then the judge had to decide, he'd ask the people that are in the courtroom if it was okay if I could stay.
Hmm.
So there were only 3 court cases. I could stay in only 2. And I handed my business card out to one, and it was a long
Yep.
day. It
Great
was a
learning
very long day.
experience.
And then
Listen, yeah,
and
keep going.
and then and these were the actual hearing parts, but in order for them to schedule probate here, they have to make a phone call. And so there's a whole list of phone calls, but I can't sit in on any of the phone calls. So I have to wait for them to get scheduled into court. And then it's only 3 or 4 cases. Yeah, it just
Mhm.
was not a good return of my time because I had to pay for parking.
I think I think that it was a phenomenal experience.
It was really
Understand.
good. Mm-hmm.
And if I was in a market like that, I would definitely not be going to court hearings.
Yeah, yeah. But
Um,
it was a good experience. The judge would introduce me as their probate adjacent services. It was kind
yeah,
of funny.
yeah, yep.
So anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there that it's sometimes court is it's a I recommend everybody go to court and spend some time in court. See how the judges talk, see how the people are relating to each other. Do that at least
Mhm.
once. At least once.
And some people go to court and they find a clerk and a judge that are extremely friendly and helpful and might actually refer you. Maybe, maybe. Some people go to court, me, and the judge thinks it's so weird that I would be sitting in court.
Yeah.
And they're not friendly and they don't offer to refer and that's okay. That's okay. I still learned in going. Now I've got another court system where I can go and sit in the hearing without a problem, and they're friendly. So even from one county to the other, things change a little bit. Regardless, it's good to go sit in the hearing.
It was. It was
Hear
very
what
good.
happens.
Yep.
Yeah. Thanks, Kristen. I really appreciate that feedback. Hopefully, it encourages some folks to go to the courthouse. Lou, what's up?
Yeah, there was a question from Mike. How many leads do you start with, all right, to get about 98 people in your pipeline going?
98 people per month or 98 um, total pipeline? I need.
Not sure. Mike, do you want to, I'll invite you to unmute if you'd like to ask, follow up. Let's see here. Ask to unmute. There we go.
Yeah, yeah. So Mike, I'm about 100 leads a month in my pipeline each month. That takes 300 to 400 raw leads to filter down and have conversations with 100-ish who I know have real estate that we've talked to that have at minimum said, I want you to send me your package. Okay. About half of those are usually then somehow stating an intention for real estate. Yeah, those would be cold leads. So we're filtering them down to about 60 to 70% that have real estate. We're getting half of the 60 to 70% on the phone. We're getting half of those into our pipeline. We're actually, our ratios are a good bit better than that. But 60, so if I get 300 raw leads, just cold leads, just filings, 200 are going to have real estate. We're going to talk to 100 or more. We're talking to more. We're going to get 50% or more. We're doing more to move into our pipeline. Okay. And I've got a really low barrier to entry for pipeline. You have real estate, you answered the phone, you said, yeah, send me some resources. Sometimes you said, listen, I'm really busy. I get these calls all the time. Send me some resources. Guess what? That's a lead that I want. I'll work it because I know that I'm going to get 25% of those, maybe 20, to eventually do an appointment with me. Eventually. How many in a pipeline are going to end up closing? Minimum 50%. How many in a pipeline am I going to end up closing? 15% probably. 20% maybe. So there's a lot of ways. If you guys want, I showed in kind of a workshop just a little bit ago, kind of our partnership and JV program that we're rolling out. Um, I essentially showed the plan for getting at least 1.5 deals a month, and it starts with 100 raw leads, 70 of which are going to have real estate. And that should be solid for 1.5 deals a month. And that's somewhat conservative. Somewhat conservative. I know a lot of people that won't do a deal and a half out of 100 leads. I know a lot of people that are going to do 6 deals out of every 100 leads. So there's plenty in the probate space. You just have to know how to talk to them. Have to know what to offer. You need to kind of understand human psychology. What is human psychology? Like, what do you need to understand? You're a stranger on the phone. They don't want to tell you their life story in a lot of cases. It's really funny how often I get the life story. Okay. But in a lot of cases, they want to be a little bit resistant. So you want to give them questions that cause them to go down the path that you're planning on. All right. Questions like, instead of, do you need help? Nope. Okay, they want to be resistant. It's, did you guys just start probate in the last couple of weeks, or have you been in the middle of it for a few months? Well, I already know the answer. Couple of weeks. Guess what we're not talking about? I don't need you. My attorney's doing it all. Why? I didn't ask them about their attorney. I asked them when they started. Have you ever done probate before, or is this your first time? It's our first time. Guess what we're not talking about? I don't need your help. Why? I didn't ask them if they needed my help. So I try to drop questions in that get some interaction. And by the time I ask if they need help, we've been back and forth a little bit. I've kind of broken through the barrier of rapport. When I say, can I send you a package of resources? I don't say, hey, can I send you a package of resources? They normally are going to say no. Why? I'm a stranger. Psychology. Stranger on the phone that's probably trying to sell something says, I'm going to reject what you just offered. So I don't say, can I send you a package of resources? I said, if I sent you a pack with some resources that help through probate, would you call me if you need anything? Of course. Why would they say no? Yeah, I'll call you if I need anything. I started doing that because people would use I'll call you if I need anything as a rejection. So I realized that everybody wanted to say, don't call me, I'll call you. That's what they all want to say. Okay. So I started actually saying, if I sent you a packet of resources, would you call me if you need anything? And they go, yeah, yeah, man, you took the words right out of my mouth. Well, I know that they're going to sell a house. I know I wanted to get a package in front of them anyway. So now they're not answering, can I send you a package? Now they're answering, will they call me if they need anything? So sometimes you put your questions together and you kind of bundle the the thing that they would probably say no to with the thing that they'll probably say yes to. And then we can extend calls. Then we can move our conversation into other things. We can talk about assets. We can talk about whether they have an attorney. We can talk about who was it? Who was it that you lost? We could. There's a lot of things that we could talk about at that point. But at least we got them into the pipeline. That's goal number one. All right. Who else do I have? Kristen, go.
Okay, so in the training program, there was a discussion about vacant home insurance and no trespassing signs.
Yep.
So I followed up with the vacant home insurance, and not all insurance companies offer that as a rider.
That's right.
Okay. So what I couldn't find out is about the no trespassing signs, if that really changes the rules of squatters. And maybe that's a state to state thing. I don't know.
Yeah. Um, it can. Is it state to state? Well, I mean, obviously you have to prove that there was a no trespassing sign on. Okay. There wasn't any no trespassing sign here. If you catch them early enough, then yeah, it certainly can simplify the process. It kind of depends on the officers, the police's interpretation of trespassing rules too.
I should probably call our. Go ahead.
I think it really depends on local police interpretation and also how quickly you catch the person in there. If all their stuff is in there, they might be able to start to push squatter rights. What's the likelihood of this happening? Pretty slim. David Cordero had a really bad scenario where someone moved into a house in Hawaii and stayed there forever. But if you catch them early enough and you can show that there was clearly posted no trespassing and they are trespassers, it makes it easier to get them out.
Okay.
So Chad that talked about that, he led with that a lot.
Yeah.
I personally don't lead with that a lot until I get some interaction back and forth. I'm not going to use it to try to save it's not my technique for trying to save a conversation that's starting to slip away. Chad used it to save conversations that were slipping away extremely well. It's just not the approach that I personally use.
Yeah, I tried it on a couple of people who said, "Oh, I have an attorney. They're taking care of everything." And I'm like, "Okay, is your house going to be vacant? Do you have vacant home insurance?" You know, to try and show them their attorney is maybe not covering everything that they think they are. There's an attorney in town I need to look up to see who it is, who happens to hand out this checklist for people. And so I've been finding that they've been following this checklist, whatever it is that this guy's got. And they're handling the clearing of the house and goods and that kind of stuff. So it's kind of, it is a kaleidoscope of conversations that you can get into. Really, I don't know how else to explain that. So I was wondering how to work that in. Maybe I'm not working it in correctly. Maybe it's just I need to go a different route. I don't know.
I work it in when I get to the get to the appointment. I work it in when I'm
Oh,
face to
okay.
face or when we have
Okay.
a significant conversation. I told you guys on the call before this that I called a pipeline lead that was a discovery lead. He had told my ISA, yeah, I'm really busy. Send the package. I'll call you if I need anything. Click, bye. I called him. We had an hour and 20-minute, hour and 10-minute conversation, something like that. It was I was trying to get off of the phone. And I talked about no trespassing, vacant property insurance, everything through that call. So there's times I do it on the call, but I'm really playing it by how open they get on the call. If they're not getting very open, I'm usually going to do wait till I'm face to face. So this is the way it went with another prospect of mine a few months ago. This was several months ago before I was even really actively back into working leads and getting my pipeline built back up. But Courtney Rollins, for those of you that know Courtney, he created this lead opportunity. He said it for himself. He couldn't go, so I went on the appointment. But I'd called her beforehand, and she was super short, really short. And it just was not that when someone's short and they want to get off the phone, I give them an easy way to get off the phone whilst giving me what I want. I wanted the appointment. So, yeah, I don't know what we're going to do with the house yet. Hey, no problem. A lot of people don't know. It's probably going to be a while before you decide, right? Yeah, it's going to be a while. Listen, even if it's a year from now, if you decided to sell, do you think I might be able to bring you an offer? So what reasonable person could say no to that? If we sell, no, you can't bring an offer. Like they'd have to hate my guts to say, no, you can't bring an offer if we sell. So of course she says yes. And I go, since I'm sending you the package, can I slip a little estimate of value in there for you? What reasonable person would say no to that? So she goes, yeah. So she's short. She doesn't want to talk. Yes, if we sell, you can bring an offer. Yes, you can put an estimated value in there. Listen, it's going to take me a day or two. I'm going to drive through the neighborhood. Are you going to be around maybe over the weekend or next week? I could stop and see the house for 5 minutes. I'll probably be there next Monday evening. It's okay if I stop by? Yeah, sure, might as well. That's her attitude. I get to the house. We have an amazing conversation. And I talked about insurance and no trespassing. She loved it. She took my advice. I bought a car from her. I didn't buy the house. I lost my offer, but I bought a car from her. So there's times when you're in this fluid conversation and you go, man, if I try to save the call where it is and I try to wait, man, no, don't you want to talk about insurance? What about this? What about that? It's just not going to go really well. So when I usually try to ask real estate, and when they express that they don't know, I know you're probably not going to decide for a while. If you did decide, could I bring an offer? Why would anyone say no? You can never make an offer if we sold. Why would they? So I'm asking these questions that I know are impossible to reject. Just because they're impossible to reject doesn't mean that you don't get the occasional person that's just doesn't matter what you say. But most people, when you kind of play along with their resistance, are gonna get where you want to go. Let's just say that. Hey guys, I'm butting in here with a quick ask. If you're getting value out of this coaching today, I want to invite you to check out my Probate Mastery trainings over at www.probatemastery.com. Probate Mastery is for you if you're an agent or an investor that wants to work with motivated sellers that have inherited real estate that they don't need and in many cases can't afford. These sellers are more appreciative, willing to trust your expertise, and less likely to nickel and dime you over commission or price. Why is that? They're often in the middle of a complex probate or an estate administration process, and this means that real estate is very often a burden on them, and they simply need the help. Inside of Probate Mastery, I teach you exactly where to source your leads, how to establish value and offer your service in a way that quickly makes you, as the professional, your market's expert in the probate space. If you want to know a little bit more, go over to www.probatemastery.com. Hope to see you guys inside of the community. Thanks. Hey, Dan, go ahead and unmute yourself.
This is more, and I'm sorry you guys can't see me, the camera's not open. Depending on the state everyone's in, we all kind of have natural disasters. I'm in Florida. So I usually sneak in the insurance conversations for the vacant home as a public service announcement. I kind of say, you know, if the property's vacant, this is public service announcement. Usually most people don't know or realize that if something is to happen to the property while you guys are waiting for the process to run its course or whatever it may be, insurance won't cover the same amount of damages it would cover if it was occupied. That usually is kind of value, and it's not really anything substantial, but as just kind of direct the conversation to maybe a time frame. You know, in Florida, technically, if a home is vacant for over 60 days, it's considered vacant, unoccupied vacant, and insurance automatically doesn't cover. So when people move into facilities, retirement homes, or whatever it may be, that same thing applies. So if a hurricane, snowstorm collapses roofs or whatever it may happen, and you say, hey, you know, grandma moved into a facility or whatever it may be, has been there for 6 months trying it out, insurance won't cover these damages to the extent, and it's all in the fine print of the policy. So double check the policies. And it usually has some kind of a response that continues a conversation.
Yeah. I'm gonna, and this, first off, I want everyone to know this is just my style. My style is, not frequently to throw something in that's completely out of the category that we were just talking about. So normally I don't change gears a whole lot and go from talking about selling the house to insurance. There are some ways to transition there. So with what Dan said, I feel like it would be a really good, I'm calling because of this. That would be a great purpose for the call. It's also really good as a conversation's going relatively well. My style, and personally, I have a hard time going there if the call's going off of the rails. And we all know some calls go off the rails. It's not always, hey, screw you, call going off of the rails. A lot of times it's more, I'm really busy. I've had a bunch of these calls. Listen, I gotta go. My attorney's doing everything. And you just hear in their tone, my attorney's doing everything. I really appreciate the call, but I gotta go. Okay. Hey, what about insurance? Okay. That's where I hear a lot of people kind of messing up, is they're frantic and desperate to try to find anything to keep this person that's trying to just shut you down. But beautiful times, just like Dan was just saying, where a conversation is relatively open. It doesn't mean that they're warm and friendly and just giving you their whole life story, but it's relatively open. It's somewhere in between where you could say, hey, can I mention one other thing? And they go, yeah. One of the things that most of the folks that I work with are dealing with is vacant property insurance and squatter rights. Have you ever considered those issues? No. Okay. If the person's pretty open and communicative with you, then a good transition phrase would be, hey, can I change subjects real quick? Ask permission and then change subjects into vacant property, riders, or no trespassing and things like that. I'm just kind of against using it to save a call that's clearly doomed. I'll use something else to kind of get that person. Let me send you a packet. You just call me if you need anything. Is that fair? Okay, that's my saving of a call that's doomed. All right, good. And Dan, that was mostly a agreement with your approach. But I do want to make sure people aren't coming across as desperate. when they're losing control of a call. All right. Anybody else?
Yes, can you hear me, Bruce?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for taking my inquiry. I'm in a situation where I have a former client. There's 6 siblings on title. The 3 sisters want to sell, the 3 brothers are deceased.
Mm-hmm.
And so I guess they have to do a mini probate in order to correct the title.
Well, the brothers who are deceased probably have to go through probate as
Yes.
well. So there's basically 4 probates that are probably needed.
4?
Yeah. So house is involved. There were 6 heirs to the house, right?
Well, 6 heirs on title, yes.
Yeah. 3 of the
3.
heirs are now dead.
Yes.
Yeah. Each one of those heirs is going to have probate. Now, do each of those heirs qualify for small estate exemption to probate? Maybe. Hopefully.
Well, okay, the property is a triplex, and I guess the interest is probably about 150 each.
Yep. Yep. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you can't sell until they're through probate, but they're probably each going to have to initiate probate, and someone will have to sign for each of their estates. So they could all be bundled into not one probate, but one executor could initiate probate on all 3 of them and get signing rights for the 3 of them.
Okay, and my
Now-
client wants to do that. Actually, she was the administrator on this property back in '95 when the father died. Okay,
Yeah.
so fast forward all those years. Now she's saying, well, Regina, I put up all the money and everything to get the property out the REIT list, and I did all that before. I don't want to put up the money this time. I want somebody else in my family to do it. So she got her nephew to do it. But the problem is he went ahead and filed probate, and he's really not a good candidate to be the executor.
He filed probate for who?
For the 3 boys that are deceased.
Okay, got it. So if they're approved now, if probate's approved, they have an official estate that's been set up. He can sign for the 3 of them on the house sale, on the triplex sale.
Okay, but the problem is she contested his appointment as administrator. She doesn't want
Why'd
him to
she
be
do that?
Well, because first of all, the property's in California. He lives in Washington. He doesn't have the best reputation financially. Okay, he's had some problems in his past. He lied to the judge on the first hearing. He lied to the judge. The judge asked him if he was a resident. He said yes, and he lied because he had to show the judge his ID, and it showed a Washington address.
Yeah, yep.
He doesn't seem to be very responsible.
Okay.
Plus, so she contested.
That's fair, but we're now dealing with a couple of different issues. So she wants to sell the triplex that was originally in her mother's estate. Is that what?
It was the father's property, and they went through probate back in '95. That's how the kids ended up on title as this.
Father's house is over here. They want to sell it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. In order to sell it, someone needs to sign for the 3 brothers that are dead.
Yes.
Okay. So if she contests the appointment of this nephew,
Yes.
then they can't sell this house right now.
Well, can she ask another relative that she does trust that feels will do a good job?
Sure, but it's just going to delay the process.
Yeah.
I agree. Maybe he needs to be contested.
He does. It sounds like what she was
He
telling
needs to be contested on their estates.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So he probably is not a good candidate for those, but now you got to go through the application and the dispute and the approval process with a new relative.
Right.
And the house here that's out of probate can't be sold until that's all resolved.
Right.
So either just be willing to wait for that to get resolved before you sell this house, or sign to sell the house now and then contest it after the house sells.
Yeah, but see, another thing, by him living in Washington, he has a job where he travels a lot. He's already told her he wanted the tenants evicted. And, here in Los Angeles, you can't just give tenants a notice. He does so that he does nothing. He knows nothing about tenant laws for
Yep.
for Los Angeles. But anyway, getting back to the situation with her contesting him, let's say the other relative that she's thinking about doesn't want to do it. Can she hire a professional fiduciary to handle it?
Sure. Yes.
And how much does that cost her?
Less than an attorney.
Really? You
Yeah.
have any recommendations?
Do I have any fiduciaries in California in here? Yeah. So, I would reach out to, he's up in the Bay Area, but he covers all of California. John Fraker.
Oh, okay.
John Fraker. I'm gonna find a profile for you. He's in our community. So he's an agent, an investor, a fiduciary, and an attorney. And he does um, fiduciary work all the time.
Oh, great.
Yeah, he loves the attorney work because California pays a base percentage of the
Mm-hmm.
estate. I am trying to find his
And he
contact.
would be cheap as an attorney?
Yeah, if he's operating as a fiduciary and not an attorney, he'll
Oh,
I found
he'll
him, Bruce. I found him.
good. Thanks, Lou.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll do it as a fiduciary. He'd like to do it as an attorney. I mean, what attorney wouldn't? But he is
right.
also a fiduciary, so he can do that. Um,
Okay.
and I mean, it doesn't even need to be a fiduciary doing it. It could be an independent third party that just is organized and is willing to do it. Most administrators or fiduciaries are still going to get a percentage fee. It's just not going to be
Yeah.
as much as the attorney usually takes.
Okay. And in a situation like this, we just need the title cleaned up for the three deceased brothers. Now,
Yeah.
one brother doesn't have any heirs, was not married, no children. Okay, so that brother's portion will be split among the remaining siblings, right?
Yeah, that's true. Not only siblings, but according to California intestate law, if he didn't have a will,
No,
um,
he didn't have.
you need all you need is to get an appointed administrator for his estate, and that administrator should be able to sign on the estate's behalf to sell the
Okay.
triplex. So they don't have to go through probate and get everything, but they need to be approved. And then that
Okay.
administrator can sign to sell the triplex.
Okay. Now, the other situation with one of the other brothers, though, he has a wayward son that no one knows where he's at. He's mentally ill. He's homeless. What about him?
Oh. Ooh.
He's going to be hard to find.
Um, so yeah, he's going to be hard to find. The good thing is you don't have to find him to sell the triplex. You just
Oh,
need
really?
an administrator appointed to sell the triplex.
The fiduciary could also help with him. Then.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. And then the other brother has a son that lives in Arizona, and I think he's trackable.
Yeah, you need to treat those brothers' estates completely independent. They have to set their probate up before you can sell the triplex. But once it's set
Mhm.
up, it doesn't have to be finalized. You can sell the triplex. The money from the triplex will go into their estates, and then I would let the court system deal with their estates. So nobody out of their estates is going to be able to take the money from the triplex until those
Okay.
estates are closed. But that's not your problem anymore.
Okay, so that won't prevent us from selling it. We just have to get it set up, and this
Yep.
fiduciary guy can help us with that.
It'll prevent the brothers' heirs from accessing the money from the
Right.
sale.
Okay.
But again, not necessarily your problem. I hate to sound like that because it's not empathetic, but that's not
Mhm.
necessarily the problem with selling. You just need them to be in probate
Oh.
before you can sell the triplex. And this
Okay,
is
so if I contact John and set up the call with him and my client, and she wants to work with him, then he can do the preliminary stuff to uh, get us in a position where we can at least put the property on the market and sell it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Oh, great.
All right.
Perfect. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
That's
so
a
much.
doozy. Thanks for
It is.
joining.
Uh,
Let's go to Jessica. Go ahead and unmute yourself if you can. There you go.
This is my first time joining. This has been
Hey,
very
welcome.
insightful. I must have like joined your mailing list somehow. Honestly, I don't remember how, but I kept seeing these pop up, and I actually had a moment to jump in today. So I'm kind of glad I did because I've always been a little curious about probate. I'm a licensed realtor in Texas.
Awesome.
Um, and so I was very curious, like what you are actually offering, because I haven't really heard a sales pitch from you yet. Just nothing but value today. This is really awesome. But I'm curious, what do you have, for everyone?
Sure.
Like, what is it?
So one of three different things. One just got announced today. So the first is a certification course, about 20 hours worth of probate training, broken into three categories. So category number one in the probate certification course through the 20 hours is understanding the probate process. And we kind of treat it on a national level where everyone needs to know that there's little nuances from state to state. But the nuances make up about 5% of probate. So we teach the 95% that are going to apply to everyone. So that's part one. Part two is setting up your business plan. So what are you going to offer? Where are you going to get your leads? Are you going to market? Are you going to have vendors that you refer to? Things like that. So setting up a business plan. And part three is what does your interaction with prospects look like? So scripts, appointment strategies, things like that. So all that's over about 20 hours. You get certified. It's just probatemastery.com. Then some people run with that and do incredibly well by themselves with that. Some people want to go into coaching. So coaching, we run between 4 and 5 workshops every week, with normally me leading it. Sometimes it's one of our other successful mentors and students, but 4 to 5 workshops a week. And anyone that's in coaching, they pay one-time fee. They get to go to those workshops for life. As many as they want, as few as they want. They're centered really heavily around role play appointments, role playing cold calls, role playing nurtures, role playing attorney calls, role playing Zoom interviews. We role play is what we do heavily. It's kind of like one of these 5 times a week. And then last, we just put out today a referral program. The referral program, we were on that call right before this, where it's essentially me kind of dropping into your market with you. And we just lay my system on top of your market area and turn over pipeline leads to you to work. So those are kind of the three different plans.
The last part you said about what was the last one? Sorry, my baby distracted me.
Oh yeah, you're good. The last one is a referral program. So I basically drop my system into your market, and as a partner in probate, I create your pipeline deals and appointments. So I use my ISAs, my mail systems, my resource packages, my leads, my CRM, my dialer, and I basically just kind of plug you in, and then you get all the pipeline leads, and we even help parallel to you working your pipeline leads, but we run parallel to help you get to the appointment level as well. And that's basically like a 50-50 cost and a 65-35 split on the commissions that come out of it.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. So you said 50-50 cost on like all the marketing
Yep.
efforts, and
Yep.
then what was it again? The 60-40?
65-35 split on the closings.
The listings? Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Cool.
That-
And we're doing another one of those calls on Thursday at, if you're in Texas, it would be 2 o'clock your time. Thursday, there will be an email that comes out if you look for Bruce at Probate Mastery.
It's in the chat too. I popped
In
it in the
chat.
chat.
Okay, yeah. Lou popped in
The
chat.
last, the last link is the referral one?
Yep,
Yes.
that's how to register for the Thursday call. And we'll be doing more. I don't have other discovery calls scheduled for that one, but there's another session on Thursday if you're interested in looking at the referral program. Everybody that
Oh,
is in the referral program does need to be certified though. I want to make sure that everyone's been through the class. So the class is $697 for the 20 hours to get certified and make sure that you're you're solid. You know what their process is gonna any family going through probate, you know what the process is gonna look like. You can legitimately step in with more value than just selling the house. They will sell the house. If you are like everybody else and you call and go, hey, I see your husband died. Can I make a commission on you? And I know no one would ever say that, but that's how some people sound when they process a family in probate. It's really how a lot of people sound. I haven't heard any of our people sound like that for a long time, but I've known a lot of agents and investors that would call and say, "Hey, I was calling about 123 Main Street. It looks like Joe Smith passed away. Do you guys think you're going to sell the house?" And that just really you'll have some success, but you're certainly not going to build a sustainable business that way. So we teach you to lead with immense value that help people with every aspect of the probate process. They're probably not going to use you for all the guidance and resources that you can provide. Almost never that they actually use it, but the fact that you're positioned as the resource immediately gives you 10x credibility over everybody else.
Yeah, and Jessica, I dropped a bunch of info links in the chat that you could click on. There's information on probate mastery. There's also the probate mastery course, and then the registration link for the next info session on Thursday.
Mhm.
And yeah, I'll also put a discovery call link if anybody has any questions or would like to book a discovery call for any of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the bulk of you guys in here, a whole bunch of you were on the info session 2 hours ago. I guess we started. If you weren't on that info session, the new referral program, anybody that's in it also gets the coaching. Okay. Anybody that doesn't want to be in the referral program can get the coaching, and then we'll kind of build your own resource packages and kind of build your own system with you. But if you link up with us in the referral program, you also get the coaching. If you're in coaching or haven't been in coaching, we're gonna do a video with you in your market every month. We're gonna do an attorney interview with you and an attorney or vendor of your choice every month as well. More information if you missed a couple of hours ago when we started, come Thursday. And if you missed that one, then we'll do another one probably in a week or so. I need to see where everything kind of sorts out over the next few days. And I've got ISAs to train too. Hey, Joe, go for it, man. You had your hand up for a long time.
Yeah, quick question. I'm not a probate expert. I'm a newbie, but why wouldn't how the title is, if it's joint in tenancy or tenancy in common, to what Regina was saying before, would make a difference?
So what's happening in Regina's case is the house is not in probate. The heirs that have to sign for the sale,
But the people are dead though.
I
Okay.
know, but
And that's what's confusing. Because I've talked to other lawyers, they say all you do is go, get
that's
the
fair.
death certificate and show the
Yeah,
judge.
totally fair. I don't know how title is held. It could be as simple as that. It might not be. It might be where they have to, as individuals, sign as individuals. Well, when you have to, six people have to sign as individuals and three of them are dead, someone has to be able to sign for them. Now, it could be as simple as you're describing. It absolutely 1,000% could be, and I hope it is. Given the way that the scenario was set up, it doesn't sound like they had it put together really well. So I wouldn't be surprised if those three brothers need to go into probate and a representative assigned for them. I just wouldn't be surprised. But what you're saying, Joe, could be accurate, and it would make a really simple solution.
Yeah, because how could they? I mean, Regina, was there a mortgage on the property when they originally bought it? Because if all those people are putting money down or something like that,
So dad bought it, and dad's been dead since 98. So there's probably no mortgage.
Yeah, there's no mortgage on the property.
okay. All right. So most likely then, yeah, you're right, Bruce. It's the type of thing where they're on.
Give
It's
the situation as a whole seems sloppy as a whole. Because the situation as a whole, I'm skeptical that it's going to be as easy as showing a death certificate and them being out, because someone's going to have to get their half collectively, the three brothers that are dead. Someone's going to have to get their proceeds.
But doesn't it make a difference though how the title, the tenancy in common
Sure.
or joint intent? I mean,
Absolutely. I doubt that it's title with rights of survivorship. I doubt.
well, that would make sense. I mean, if someone's doing a title, that's how they would do it, you would think,
Rights of survivorship.
or something like that, or joint
Uh,
tenancy or
so
tenancy in common.
tenancy in common is going to be where it's a problem, because now that 1/6 of the house that each brother owned can't be paid to the brother because the brother's dead. It has to be paid to the brother's heirs and has to go through probate, which means someone has to sign for their share. So someone's going to have to sign for their share. Now, if it's rights of survivorship, then the three brothers die and their 1/6 automatically rolls to the other siblings. So it really depends on title, on the deed. It's an interesting one to see, and I hope it's as simple as Joe is describing with rights of survivorship. I hope.
Yeah, I hope so too. In that, I think you should reach out to a title company because they will help straighten that all out
Yes,
and
yes.
guide her in the right direction as to if she needs an attorney for that or not,
Yep.
and go through all of those steps with her. So, Regina, reach out to a title company for starters.
Yeah, or I don't know how LA is. I know it's the biggest county in the United States, and I'm in the second biggest one in the United States, Cook County. Um, but yeah, I mean, in Cook County, we use lawyers for everything, and you just call a lawyer, and they would just take care of it. Especially if you know when they'll do it for nothing.
So,
If you
coaching for everyone here, do what Joe and Kristen are saying. Coaching specifically for Regina, call John first. Why?
Okay.
John is a probate mastery alumni. He consults all the time. He uh, he is not gonna insert himself for a fee when he could just say, "Oh yeah, here's your solution." He's just gonna be a good counsel to be able to run this by. He loves helping. He knows real estate. He knows law. He knows fiduciary. He knows title. He's probably going to be a good resource for you. I hate to volunteer his time for free. Um,
Well, but thank you. But about 3 years ago, Bruce, we were also my client had inquired about selling it back then. And I actually introduced her to a probate attorney that I work with. And I'm pretty sure they have to do the mini probate because we already kind of looked at the title, but that was 3 years ago. I don't remember exactly if it was tenants in common. I think it was. But anyway, at that time, we had to do many probates according to the attorney that I work with. But obviously, I'm open to working with John if it can save my client some money.
sure. Yep. And he may just be able to say, hey, go to title. I probably would call John before title, not in any other situation. So for everybody else here, probably best to just call title before, or you're a lawyer if you're in a lawyer state. Um, before, but knowing John, I think it would be good to call John first.
Thank you. Okay, thank you very much.
Yep.
There's a follow-up question on the whole attorney thing. This is a good question. Probably might be the last one because we are over time now, and Bruce does have other appointments.
That I'm late for?
Lindsay,
Yeah.
so you don't have to hire an attorney to go through the probate process.
No.
Do you recommend people to hire an attorney, or do you rather them not have one so you can help them?
Um, man, I this is a double-edged sword. I almost would rather they have an attorney because I want a relationship with the attorney.
Hmm.
So they are a bridge to the attorney relationship for me. Um, when they have an attorney, very frequently they want to say, I don't need help. My attorney's doing everything. They're usually wrong. They don't know that they're wrong. So when they say, I don't need help, it's not normally a put off. It's them telling you what they think is true. Attorneys make things much more simple for them in most cases. So normally what I do when they have an attorney is I say, hey, is your attorney just a flat fee or are they charging like by the hour or a percentage? And if it's by the hour, then I'll usually say, look, I understand probate really well. There's going to be times when you could call the attorney and get billed hourly, or you could call me and I may be able to just answer your question for free. And if I don't know the answer, then I'll tell you to call your attorney. But if I could save you some money by just giving you general guidance and advice on things that maybe you don't have to call the attorney to, I want you to call me. Um, some of these people are calling their attorney for everything. Hey, who should cut my grass? And guess what happens? Now they're charged $62 for that 6 minute block of time. Um, well, if you're going to call the attorney and ask about cutting the grass or having an estate sale or cleaning the house out, you might as well just call me and not get charged for it. And what's it do for me is it deepens my relationship with you. And when you sell a house, then I've got the relationship. And I'll usually make it pretty clear. Look, I do this because I run a real estate brokerage, and obviously that's how I put food on my table. I don't want to like force you to sell a house or anything like that. I just want to be a resource because I know if I can if I can save you money, I can save you time. If you guys sold the house, I probably would at least get to show you my plan, right? Kind of nonchalant. I'd at least get to show you my plan if you sell, and if you don't sell, I saved you money and time. Is the attitude that we deliver to them. All right, cool. Thank you guys so much. I am late for an appointment. I didn't notice the time, so you guys have been great. Thursday, for anyone that missed the discovery today on the partnership referral program, Thursday 3 o'clock Eastern time, we're doing it again. Lou put the links into chat, and you guys can click on that. I'll leave chat up for just another minute. I'm late for a call, so I'm going to turn my camera off. I'll close this out in 30 seconds. So go in and click on whatever links you need to if you're going to join the discovery or book a session with Lou to talk about coaching or signing up or whatever you need to do. Thanks, guys.